Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Kishore Kishore, Jaya Kishore Kishore, Jaya Kishore Kishore, Jaya Kishore Kishore. Kishore Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Hey Gaur Premanande, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramamsa Parirakshara Stotra Sutta Simala's Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvinde Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramamsa Parirakshara Stotra Sutta Simala's Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki, Jai Gaur Premanande, all glories to some devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirahe Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 10, Text 9. Hayante pasavo yatra nidrayar atmachabhibhi manmanayer imam deham amrutajo nishmaram hayande pashvo yatra nidrayair ajatmataha manmanayar imam deham ajamrutyum nishwaram hayande pasavo yatra nidrayayar ajatmabhim manmanayar imam deham ajamrityu nishwaram. This chant. Hanyate pasavo yatra nidrayare ajitapmabhi manyamanar imam deham ajamrityunaswaram. Hanyate pasavo yatra nirdayere ajatmabhi manyamanarimam deham ajamrityunaswaram. Hanyate pasavo yatra nidrayena jitatmabhim manyamanarimam deham ajamrityunaswaram. Word to word meaning. Hanyate are killed in many ways, especially slaughterhouse. Pasavaha, four-legged animals, horse, sheep, cows, hogs, etc. Yatra, wherein, nidrayaya, by those merciless persons who are conducted by the modes of passion. Ajitatmabhim, rascals who are unable to control the senses. Manyamanahi, are thinking. Imam, this. Deham, body. Ajara, will never become old or diseased. Amrityu, death will never come. Nasvarayam, although the body is destined to be annihilated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Unable to control their senses, rascals who are falsely proud of their riches or their birth in aristocratic families, who are cruel in that to maintain their perishable bodies, which they think they will never grow old or die. They will kill poor animals without mercy. Sometimes they will kill animals merely to enjoy an execution. Purport. When the modes of passion and ignorance increase in human society, giving rise to the unnecessary economic development, the resultant is that people become involved in the wine, women, and gambling. Then, being mad, they maintain big slaughterhouse, or occasionally go on pleasure for excursion to kill the animals, forgetting that however one may try to maintain the body, and the body is subjected to the birth, death, old age, and disease. Such foolish rascals engage in sinful activities one after another. Being dushkriti, They completely forget the existence of the Supreme Controller, who is sitting within the core of the one's heart. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hiddesha Arjuna Tishtati. That Supreme Controller observing every bit of one's activity, and he rewards or punishes everyone by giving one's suitable body made by material nature. Brahmayan Sarva Bhutanam Yantra Rurani Maya. In this way, sinful persons automatically receive the punishment in different types of the bodies. The root cause of the punishment is that when one unnecessarily accumulates the wealth and one becomes more and more degraded, not knowing that his wealth will be finished with his next birth. Nasadu manye yatra atmanyoyam asan api klesha asadeha. Animal killing is prohibited. Every living being, of course, has to eat something. Jivo jivas jivanam. But one should be taught that what kind of food one should take. Therefore, Ishopanishad instructs us tena taktena bhujita. One should eat whatever is allotted for the human beings. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 9.26, Patram pushpam palam toyam Yo me bhakta prayasate tadham bhakti mam upastam ashrami prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with a love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit or a water, I will accept it. A devotee therefore does not eat anything that would not require slaughterhouse for the poor animals. Rather, devotee takes a prasada of Krishna, tena taktena bhujita. Krishna recommends that one give him the patram pushpam phalam toyam, a leaf, a flower, fruit or a water. Animal food is never recommended for the human beings. Instead, a human being is recommended to take prasada, remnants of the food left by Krishna. Yajnaiste sarasista sthano murchanti sarvakalvashi. If one practices eating prasada, even if there is some little sinful activity involved, one becomes free from the resultant of sinful acts. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharinim Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Desatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I'll begin the class by one of the nectar story in the books distribution. Since today is a Gita Jayanti, Gita Marathon, today was the Bhagavad Gita spoken by Lord Krishna. So, somewhere in the Russian, there was a big slaughterhouse. So one person, after finishing his job, he went to take a break, and he was in the meanwhile, he was seeing some of the his colleagues are working. Their dress were fully blood and everything, and his dress also same thing, similarly like that. And what happened, like he was getting tired, and he looked down. He found one piece of paper, and he found that paper interesting matter. So he searched where this paper, the resource, where is the source of this paper. Then he asked his friend, and they gave him such and such address. After that, Then he went there. Then he inquired about the paper. So he found an interesting matter. I want to know who these people are distributing. So finally he got to know this paper was one of the page from Science of Self-Realization. For that paper, he got so much realization. After reading that paper, his family got transformation. Being from slaughterhouse to, he got onto the devotee's path, and he took up the Krishna consciousness wonderfully. Not only he changed his life, and also he changed his whole community just by reading one paper of Science of Self-Realization. So this is a wonderful pastime in the book distribution. Just by reading one paper, he got transformation. So similarly, just by reading Bhagavatam every day, so we should how much we can able to transform in our lives. And the person who is got out from the job and he has his own business and he completely stopped going to slaughterhouse. So here in the Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning unnecessarily maintaining the slaughterhouse and killing the animals is completely forbidden. This context is when Narad Muni saw the children of the Kubera, they were totally intoxicated by the wine, woman and the wealth. So these three things will not bring you advancement in spiritual life. Kunti Maharani also prays, Janmaisvarja Sutta Sri Biyedamana Madaphuman. So she always prays that, oh Lord, please give me troubles, and this high birth family and rich family and aristocratic family, this will become a stumbling block for the advancement of spiritual life. So one should avoid that. How one can avoid? By taking the shelter of the holy name, and by taking the shelter of the Krishna, and by taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam every day. By this we can easily understand that one should never indulge in these sinful activities. Every living entity has his own food. It is its own food. So each and every living entity, it has got its own food. Jivo jivasya jivanam. Obviously, one may ask, so if every living entity has own food, then human beings also has own food to eat meat. No, but Shastras, Vedas will not recommend to eat meat. If you are eating a meat, there is a particular rules and regulations. You should follow that kind of rules and regulations. Then only you can eat meat. Nowadays, we are getting a meat ready-made, which we cannot see how the animal being killed in the slaughterhouses. If you see that killing the animal, if you see the emotional turmoil the animal is going on, you will not eat meat. You are just seeing the nice package which comes in the stores. It's very colorful and it is very attractive. But if any human being, if he asks to eat meat by himself, cook by himself, eat by himself, he will never eat meat. So why? Because every human being has a tendency, some compassion. There is a little compassion in each and every human being. But what happened is, it is covered by this so-called civilization. When it is covered by so-called civilization, we cannot see that animal how it is undergoing severe pain. So one needs to be engaged. One should not be engaged in sinful activities. For example, every living entity has got jivo jivasya jivanam. If tiger has got to eat a meat, and what happens if he eats a meat? It does not get any sinful reaction. Second thing, and it is that food. If you eat tiger food, giraffe or any animal, then what will the tiger eat? Tiger will not eat rice and dal. Tiger has to eat only its food. But you are taking his food and you are eating goat. But what will tiger eat? Tiger will starving. In that way, you are getting indirectly a sinful reaction by eating this tiger's food. So tiger's food is goat. Our food is rice and wheat and milk products. Krishna has recommended in the Bhagavad Gita 9.26. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayaschate. So these are all meant for human being society, but human society is so degraded that it has got to such an extent that there is no limit, there is no control for the senses. That's why in the Srila Prabhupada, in the first line, unable to control their senses, rascals who are falsely proud of their riches or their births in an aristocratic families. The first line itself hits on your face, punch. You are unable to control your senses. What kind of person you are? So this is Narad Muni speaking to the Kubera sons. Indirectly, he is speaking to the people in the age of Kali. So one should be very much careful. How he should live in spiritual life. Not only spiritual life, just leading human life is very, very easy. But what we made is very complicated. You can eat what are the grows, what are the things, fruits, vegetables, which you can eat it. One may ask, okay, if we eat meat, the animal killing, you are saying, but leaves, plants and fruits and herbs, roots, they also got living spark. Then you are killing the plant. And that's why Krishna said that these things you should offer to the Lord. When you offer something to the Lord, then you eat it, then you will not occur any sinful action. So here in this said that even if there is some little sinful activity involved, one becomes free from the resultant of sinful acts. Even though if it is involved, Krishna is saying, that's why even though you may occur sinful activities, but it is taken care of by Krishna. So one should understand himself and to lead how Krishna consciousness life, or one should understand the nature of this material world, and one should understand this is a duty of the human being. Human being has to follow his own duty. One may ask why he should follow the scriptures, why he should read the instructions by the Lord. Then that is necessary and compulsory. One may think that if I move to Chicago, I will not follow the rules and regulations. I will follow the rules and regulations India's. No, you cannot do that. So one has to know what things to do and what things not to do. That is compulsory. If you say that I don't know, then you will get double fine. You will get double ticket. If you say if I break the signal, if I break the signal and I will police come and gives you a ticket, you since you broke the signal, that's why I'm giving a ticket. If you say that I don't know the red, I should not cross, I don't know the signals, I don't know the rules and regulations, then he will say double fine. Since you don't know, you are driving, that's another fine. So one should be very careful when you come to this material world. That's why one should take some aspect in his life, spirituality, or what are the do's and don'ts. Then we can able to control our senses and the mind, and it will become easy. That simply by economic development, one will not make any advancement in the spiritual life. Economic development will lead to only resultant of sinful action. Why? Because economic development needs big factories, slaughterhouses, and maintenance of those factories, maintenance of the skyscrapers building. But Krishna has given simple economic system. That in the Varnashram institution, he has given the different parts different section of the society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So each person has to do one is recommended duty. When he follows this recommended duty, then naturally he will not occur any sinful activities. Then he can able to get advanced in the spiritual life. But unable to control the senses, if person who is not able to control his senses, he is like bound by the many ropes. If you are bound by many then if I bound you to this table, you cannot move anywhere. That is the situation. That is the actual position of the person who is unable to control his senses. Because he wants to move everywhere, he cannot go anywhere, because he was always bounded by his senses. Whereas a person who is controlled the senses, he can move everywhere, but he will sit one place. But he can go anywhere, and he can engage in his senses in the Krishna consciousness, in the God consciousness. Whereas the person who is bounded by these ropes, and he cannot move anywhere. That is, a rope is nothing but passion and ignorance, and mode of goodness also. If somebody says that I am enjoying my life, why you are always giving these quotes and instructions? But if you are enjoying my life, well, how long you will enjoy? You cannot stop getting old, you cannot stop getting disease, you cannot stop getting die, and you cannot avoid these things. Then you cannot say that you are enjoying. And second question, like if you are enjoying but your senses are limited, your senses are not unlimited. If there is unlimited wine available freely in the market, how much you can drink? Only little, only 10 gallons maximum. So that your senses are limited. But your propensity to enjoy the senses is unlimited. Because as long as you enjoy the senses, it is like pouring ghee into the fire. So you keep on pouring ghee onto the fire, the fire comes up, but never it comes down. That sense enjoyment is like that. You keep on increasing the taste of the gratification of senses. It keep on increasing, and to one day it will burn your body. That's why one should try to control the senses and the mind, so that he can move freely in this material world. Otherwise, it will be always keep on bondaging in his life, and he will be miserable in this situation. The persons who are unable to control the senses, we have seen many examples in the scriptures and in the stories of Srimad Bhagavatam, like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. They are all very powerful demons. They can control whole universe. But at least what happened at the end of their life? They had everything at their disposal. It is said in the Bhagavatam, Hiranyakashipu, whenever he wants fruits, in unseasoned fruits, he can able to grow. For example, the mangoes are grown only in the summer. He can grow in winter, he can grow in any season, not only summer. He has that much power. And whenever he wants a cool air, he will just by his raising his eyebrow, the cool air comes out. He has totally control all over the material energy, but still he has not control over himself. So that's why he's been so miserable, he's been so unhappy in this situation. Sometimes we are also getting everything at our disposal, everything whatever we want, we will be getting all the things, but still we are unhappy, because the soul is struggling inside of the body. What is the food for the soul? Is chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, as long as you don't feed the soul, if you keep on feeding the body and the senses, you will find yourself miserable and unhappy. So unhappy is a state of always mode of ignorance. So ignorance people, they always be unhappy though they have everything in their life. Sometimes we see that people who are very rich, billionaires, what they eat just one single bread or one single piece of pizza, and they have got everything. But Krishna says that I may give you everything, but to enjoy, to have it, that food, to enjoy that food, I will not give the taste. Because we see in the temple, we don't have everything, but we have all number of items, we eat everything. But whereas rich billionaires, they will only eat little bit, only this much, because they're having so many diseases, diabetes and sugar control, so and so. But they cannot enjoy that food. They have got everything, but Krishna has taken away that. But whereas we have got nothing, we got everything, the food, that is whatever we can eat and enjoy the Krishna Prasada. That's the difference. Krishna has given everything to everybody, but to have it, enjoy, to nourish that food, he has to give his permission. So one has to learn to satisfy himself, satisfy whatever he has in his life. Krishna says that just by offering a leaf or a fruit or a flower or a water, even though a rich person, if you offer him a little bit water, he will never come to your home again. Right? Similarly, if you offer him poor, if you offer him like a flower or a fruit, he will never come to your home again. But whereas the Krishna is saying that he is a universe, he has everything, he is Jagannath, but he is pleased by just by giving a water, giving a fruit or giving a flower. It's not that you are a rich billionaire, I will give only, Krishna said, only leave little bit flower, little bit water. No, it's not like that. It's not other way. Whatever you have, whatever in the capacity you have, you should offer to the Lord. Then he will be pleased. That is the difference. Even though Lord is a universe, he controls everything, he is pleased by this simple activity. But whereas people in this material world, if you offer them just water, I will say, get out of here, why you come? So they will get upset. So the difference between the material world, even though they have everything, and how they behave, and whereas the Lord, he is a controller of everything, but how he is pleased by small simple devotional service. Even a poor man can also do the devotional service. Nobody in this world, poor man, he will not say that I don't have water. He will have a water somewhere. He just offer to the Lord. He will be pleased. And if he doesn't have any flowers, just offer a leaf, he will be pleased. But by pleasing the Lord, your life will be satisfied. Not you are giving some benefit to the Lord, you are giving some charity to the Lord. It's everything belongs to the Lord. Nothing belongs to us. Whatever in this material, whatever we see in this material world, everything comes from the Lord. In return, we are offering back as a token of gratitude. That's why even the Lord says that if you do this, you will never occur sinful activities. But if you don't do this, you will occur sinful activities. Your life will be not peaceful, and you will make others also in a havoc condition. So one should be in each and every step of his life, think that how I can please the Lord by my behavior, by my words, by my action, by my things, by my whatever I have in my life. Then Lord will be pleased. Then if you serve the Lord, then your life will be pleased. If you don't serve the Lord, then your life will be miserable. Just like if you serve your senses by doing sense gratification, then at the end of the day you will find still miserable person. If you do some activity which Lord is pleased, then you can able to sleep very nicely in the night. Otherwise you will have nightmares. So we'll stop here. Any questions, comments? Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thanks for the class, Naveen. Regarding what you said that we sort of like kill the plants, it's partially true. The thing is that because there's highly demand on fruits and vegetables and things, people don't take care of that. But when it's in proportions that are like family or small communities, almost every product that we consume can be regenerated. Pineapples, beets, potatoes, without harming the plants that produce those foodstuff. And that is why it's so wise our scriptures suggesting that we have to have just enough land to produce what we have in order to not impact, give an impact to those plants, even to those plants that are giving us our food and the fruits that we consume. The seeds permanently, they're producing seeds and things that can regenerate. We don't have to kill them either.
Right.
And yesterday, talking with my best friend's daughter who was here, telling me that updating about the people that we have. My goddaughter, her younger sister, just was a mom and she is breastfeeding, and the doctor suggested her, no, eat grass. Yeah, the doctor says, because I was telling her the reason why we do not eat meat, especially beef, is because one of our mothers is the cow. And I was explaining to her, and she was like, that makes so much sense. Her doctor, her pediatrician, suggested her that to have a much nicer milk for Martin, eat grass like a cow. That's all.
Yeah, that's why one needs to plan his lifestyle. Like, even though when you are growing in your land fruits and vegetables and stuff, that needs to be, that also occurs sinful activity, because in the process of growing we may kill many ants or any microorganisms, and in the process of cooking we are killing many things which we cannot see in our eyes, and in the process of cutting and everything there is so much killing is involved. But what Lord is saying, that if you offer, see, in the purport, if one practices eating prasada, even if there is some little sinful activity involved, one becomes free from the resultant of sinful act. So these statements clearly gives you that even though there are sinful activities, that means in the Bhagavatam something it is mentioned means it has to be true. It's not like some people have got some idea, he wrote, no. It has, the Lord has written this statement, he is Vasudev, is mentioned that even though there are sinful activities involved, but one becomes free from that sinful result. So one should be, even though we are using everything, but that is a very much careful enough. So one should be cook properly with proper consciousness, and offer with a proper consciousness, and take with a proper consciousness. Then only it will not get in sinful activities. And growing our own food also involve everything. Right. Hare Krishna.
I hope the doctor doesn't say eat hay next. Hare Krishna, we're
Hare
very
Krishna.
class. You made a lot of wonderful points. Some like to mention, and maybe you could expand on some of the points. One of the points you were mentioning is that regarding people who can't control their senses, not people, me or us, but you were saying just as a person who's bound by rope can't move freely. So if we're bound by the shackles of being unable to control our senses, then we can't move around freely, which I really appreciate that particular point, because we see the difference between a free person and a slave is that a free person is happy and a slave isn't. And we can see when we're bound by holding grudges, anger, etc. One thing that came to mind that I was meditating on for the last couple weeks is one lesson actually, one quality that can actually free us. Like we need keys to open locks or keys to open chains. And one key from a lesson from a devotee I learned from, that one quality that can free us is hypocrisy. That makes no sense, right? Well, this is actually a lesson I learned from Jitendriya. And I'll explain how. It's a very good, very profound lesson, interaction between us and one other person many years ago. Long story short, Jitendriya is a handyman, obviously, so he fits many cars up. Sometimes devotees give down their broken down cars to Jitendriya and say, you can have it, I'm buying a new car, you know, if you could fix it up. So he'll use his social security money to fix the cars up. And sometimes he'll let devotees or non-devotees rent it, you know, so he could pay for, you know, the garage or whatever expenses he needs. And so since this is Kali Yuga, the cheaters and the cheated, you know, he's generally cheated by devotees or non-devotees. He'll give them a very good deal and they'll cheat him, you know. And so one day, he became so furious, so furious, actually one of the most furious I've ever seen him. And so he was on the phone with this particular person. He comes to the temple. I want to say he's a full-time devotee or devotee at all, but he's been coming for many years. But he told this person on the phone, I'm witnessing it, he was very furious. He says, I'm never speaking to you again. Then he hung up. And so I was like, wow, you know, this is, you know, never seen like this. Then if less than a week later, he's speaking to this person again with friendly words and making sure he has prashadam. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like throwing a curveball. So I asked him, I thought you were never speaking to him again. What happened, you know? He was like, well, you know, you got to give people a break sometimes. And so then I actually called him a hypocrite. Because what is a hypocrite? Somebody who says something and does the complete opposite. He said he wasn't speaking to him again, and he did the complete opposite. When we say we're never speaking to somebody again, we practice what we preach. But this is a type of devout practice we shouldn't be proud of. And there's a nice quote that says, forgiveness is unlocking the door to set someone free and realizing you were the prisoner. And so it kind of relates to your point. And one other quote I appreciate, the quote isn't related to your point, but I'll rephrase the quote. There's a quote that says, it takes many good deeds to build a good reputation and only one bad deed to ruin it. So that quote could be related to your class and our relationships with each other. You could rephrase that quote. It takes many agreements to build a good relationship and only one disagreement to ruin it all. And somebody told me recently, actually a few days ago, that two women devotees who are very, you know, Christian consciousness and they've known each other for 15 years, one disagreement, they don't talk to each other anymore. Of course, it could be a one-sided thing, but anyway, those are some points I wanted to mention. And the last point that maybe you could expand on that I really appreciated, and it reminded me of one purport of Prabhupada, but I can't remember the purport, but there is a story related to that. You says, Krishna is so grateful that you could offer him water. And he's like, thank you. Try offering water to somebody in the material world for Christmas. You open a gift, it's a water bottle. Are you kidding me? But Krishna is so grateful because he sees the devotion. And In one purport, Prabhupada says, I believe it's in the 7th council, he says you could give your whole life, sacrifice your whole life for someone, and still they're ungrateful. That's why we should focus on pleasing Krishna. And there's one story related to that. Maybe you could expand on some of these points. There's a quote that says, we may be at the right place at the right time with the right people, but if we have the wrong mentality, nothing can give us happiness. And so there's a story regarding that. Kartavirya Arjuna. He worshipped Dattatreya to gain some powers. He got the powers. So he used his power to exploit others, like normally when people gain power. So he will go to every village and town, province, defeating others. He came to the ashram of Lord Parashuram's father, Jamadagni. Yeah, forgive me for Mr. J. And so, like most devotees, they'll serve their enemies. And he served Kartavirya Arjuna and his entire army, not just with water, you know, are you kidding me? Just water. He served them with prasadam, with gifts, with love, honor, and respect. And you would think somebody would be good. You saying if somebody gives us water, we'll be ungrateful. But this person, Jabda gave him everything, and he was still ungrateful. Can you believe it? Why? He found out that this person has a Kamadhenu cow in the back. How is it possible that one person is serving me and my entire army? And so he figured it out. He has a wish-fulfilling cow in the back. That's how he's able to cook sabji in less than 10 seconds, cook, puris in 2 seconds, easily. And so he became envious. And so Mr. J, he didn't try to criticize him. He didn't try to attack him. He didn't ignore him. He served them with love, honor, devotion, and more than just water. And it still wasn't enough. What's the moral of the story? With the quote I said that I appreciate. We may be at the right place, at the right time, with the right people, but if we have the wrong mentality, nothing can give us happiness. His mentality was envy and ingratitude. On the flip side of the coin, Dasa Kaur, he was beaten 22 marketplaces. He was at the wrong place, at the wrong time, with the wrong people, but because he had the right mentality, gratitude, love, compassion, everything could give him happiness. And devotees are even grateful for their antagonists. In the Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhav, there's a chapter called The Revolutionary Preacher of Truth. In that chapter, Bhaktisiddhanta says a quote. He says, when Bhagavan is merciful to me, he will send unlimited persons to speak sour words to me just to teach me tolerance, because we can't learn tolerance from people who are always kissing our butt. We only learn tolerance from people. So Haridasa Kaur, he's essentially told his attackers, when life treats you like crap, think of it as fertilizer meant to help you grow. We only learn qualities like humility, tolerance, and forgiveness when people attack us. These qualities, like I mentioned yesterday, these qualities are only meant to be used when things don't go our way. A teenager will never tell his rich father, I forgive you, father, for giving me a Mercedes-Benz for my birthday. I'll tolerate my $50 million inheritance once I graduate from high school. So my question is what are some steps we can move forward to not only be grateful for the things that so many devotees are doing for us, not just giving us water, they're giving us their association, they're giving us their life, their devotion, but how to be grateful also for our so-called antagonists who are actually doing more benefit than our so-called, or our friends, not our so-called friends, but even our friends who are just glorifying us all the time, maybe increasing our egotism. So what are some steps we could do to be all around grateful, especially to our so-called enemies?
Oh, that's a big question. One, how we can cultivate gratitude is by good memory. If you have a good memory, what he has done in your life, what he has or he has done in your life, you may forget. But if you have a good memory, you will be gratitude to him. By thinking, and to become a devotee, it's not only one person is involved in your life. There are so many people are involved in your life. Like for example, you're just eating prasadam. Like if you're eating, get a plate of prasadam, there are so many people, hands are involved. Somebody bought a boga, somebody unloaded the boga, and somebody has put it inside, and somebody has cut the vegetables, and somebody has cooked, and somebody has offered, and somebody has got a plate for you. So to get a one plate of prasada, there's so many hands are involved. Similarly, to you, if you are becoming a devotee, right now you are speaking in the sitting in the Bhagavatam class, you are gratitude, so many devotees have turned so many gallons of blood to become one person devotee. So just by being, remembering those things and just praying for them, and everyday gratitude, saying thank you for Lord, everything what I have in my life, who are involved, I don't know, indirectly. So you should hope I should also get a chance to serve them, so that they will also be nourish their Krishna consciousness, and in that way you can have a gratitude attitude in our life, just by remembering where this plate of prasad comes from, so where this kantimala came from, where this tilak came from. It's not just came by like just like Rome was not built on day night. It's like it involves so many actions. So that's why we should be think of this, what I am before coming to Krishna consciousness, what I am. These are all external dress given by Guru, sadhus and everything. If you take out this dress, if you take out the tilak, nobody will respect you. Who are you? They will say. If you just go by this dress, then people will say, oh, this is from Hare Krishna. Then people are recognizing by external. That's why Prabhupada says, first dress, then address. You should address, the dress has to be there. So that's why one should also think that how I got into this position. If you remember that, you will get so many list of the people that who have helped in the coming closer to Krishna. Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Oh.
I got it.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
He was referring to this person, and I just, giving a break to the mentally retarded, that was that scenario, but I meet a lot of those people, but, Prabhupada said you can't trust someone who can't control their senses. So that, it was just a scenario that was unfortunate, but some people never learn. All right.
Navina, question for Hare Krishna. I was appreciating your insight in pointing out that even persons who are consuming an animal, that they've actually infringed on the foodstuff for another animal. And anyway, I just wanted to bring up, because it was part of my factual experience when I was growing up, that sometimes some family friends comfortably off, it was actually a sport, much like is mentioned in the verse, to go on a hunting expedition and kill a springbuck, which is kind of buck, which is actually the food for a lion. And apart from always thinking it was horrific, it's even worse when you think that it's actually depriving another creature of their rightful foodstuff, and it was done for sport. Of course, they may have consumed that creature, but indeed there's other option as a human being. So I was just remembering because of your insight, so thank you.
So the animal killing is a natural occupation for the Kshatriyas only. It's not for all the part of the people. It's not all the part of the society. It belongs to only Kshatriya. Why? Because there's, before entering into the football match, the sports guy, before entering the football match or hockey, whatever, they have a net practice, right? Before entering to the match, they have a sufficient net practice and they will play in the stadium. Similarly, Kshatriyas are also, this hunting is a net practice. It's not like out of fun, out of fashion they will do. And also second reason is some cruel animals are disturbing the sages in the forest who are living. To control the wild animals, they will go and hunt. It's not just fashion. People nowadays, they do just for the fashion. And it's not that they will kill. Sometimes Kshatriyas without any arms, without any weapons, they will kill by hand a lion. And nobody, I think so, no present days, they will kill by hands. They, even if you are a great, coming from the king's dynasty, if you have that courage to face the lion, you should face without any weapons. So that's the natural position. It's not like that they will go and hunt just for the sake of fun. Next question. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Gaur Krsna.